to the Jamie Waffles Footy podcast, where we talk all things footy. If you could hit that free punch combination by liking, subscribing and commenting down below. Thank you very much if you are listening right now, and enjoy the pod. Welcome everyone back to the channel. I'm recording a podcast today with my super dynamic duo of Sparks. Welcome in, Sparks, everyone. Hello, brother.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I got my knickers in a twist there with that there. That intro was absolutely awful. Oh well, people. Yeah, so Sparks, welcome, bro. You're always here. We're always together. So introductions are not really needed no more, are they? Do you want to just introduce your channel, because obviously it's on my channel today?
Yeah. My YouTube is We're the North Bank. There's no hyphen in the we're. Just can't do it. But yeah. Just drop us a like and subscribe over there. That'd be great.
Happy days. So people, today we're doing kind of like I don't think you'd really say a tactical insight. I'm saying a more in-depth of each team in each group. So we're doing Group A, Group B today. Then tomorrow will be C, D, and so on. That will lead up to Wednesday. So then the Thursday, we've got one spare day, and then Friday it's the Euros. So it's each day leading up to the Euros, we've got a in-depth look at some of the teams. So I'm going to pull up here. Is this? Yeah, here we go. So Group A to Group B, Sparks, as we can see, we've got Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland, Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. So starting off with Group A, any first thoughts on Group A? Well, just before we get into it, Sparks?
Only that the obviously the strongest in the Group A would be Germany for me. Then probably Hungary, Switzerland, Scotland. As I mentioned on the previous pod, if you haven't checked that out, then go and check that out. That's a bit more of a kind of a brush up of each group. So if you haven't seen that, then go back and have a look at that. We did that earlier today. Group B for me is the group of death, as it were. Spain, Croatia, Italy could be any way up, but I expect Spain, Italy, Croatia, and then Albania at the bottom.
Happy days, brother. I think I feel exactly the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up a graphic here, people, for everyone to see. I'm going to take away the groups, and I'm going to pull up Germany and their star players. So leading into this, the first star player we have is Jamal Musiala, who has goals and assists. He has 16 this season for Bayern Munich. Me and Sparks have seen a little bit of him for going from when we played against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. What were your thoughts on Jamal Musiala, brother?
I mean, he's an very exciting young player.
Yeah.
Got plenty of ability. Can beat a man. Can just dribble past a man.
Yeah.
Invariably he's a capable, exciting player, and you'd like to have him in your team.
Yeah, 100%. Well, he came through the English ranks, didn't he? And then decided to play for Germany, Jamal Musiala. He's had a very good. He's kind of like the diamond in the rough over it, but Bayern Munich this season as they finished third. But yeah, Jamal Musiala has had a very good season. 16 goal contributions. This, people, is literally just from their leagues. I haven't included Champions League. I've just researched solely into their leagues. So Jamal Musiala has 16 goals and assists. And then moving on to Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz has had an exceptional season with Leverkusen. Everyone I kind of hear shouts coming out of Germany saying Florian Wirtz is the next big thing. Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz are both under 23 players. But for me, they're the bright sparks of that Germany squad. There's quite a few you could pick out. You've got your Joshua Kimmiches, you've got Kai Havertz, you've obviously got ter Stegen, Neuer. Is Neuer retired or is he still there? I think Neuer's still in the squad, isn't he?
He's still in the squad, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got big players like that, but I've chose to go for These two. Have you got any ideas on Florian Wirtz, bro?
I think he's a very young, very exciting,
Yeah.
versatile.
Yeah.
Can play left back, left wing back, mostly left wing back, I believe. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's also had a great season, hasn't he, with Leverkusen?
Yeah.
So
So these are kind of key. I've put star players, but I'd say they're key players to
yeah,
Germany
the only
succeed.
thing you'd really question is their experience on the international stage, I guess.
100%. Yeah.
Obviously, they've got other players as well that can prop them up in that kind of department.
Yeah.
But that would be the only question mark, really. I know that they've played friendlies and they've played qualifiers.
Yeah.
Obviously, I believe their first involvement in a major tournament.
Yeah. It's kind of like for us. It's kind of like Parma. Kind of like our
Yeah.
version of Parma and Foden. I'd kind of say that's what I'd kind of point at. Florian
Yeah,
Wirtz.
I think they've probably experienced what Foden has rather than. Although Wirtz, I don't think has played an international before, has he?
No, I don't think he has either. Florian Wirtz. No.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull up Germany's form guide if it lets me click it. Let me click back on it again. So this is Germany's form guide. I've got to put my screen up big so I can see it myself. They lost on the 21st of November. They lost to Austria 2-0. 23rd of March, so only 3 months ago, they beat France 2-0 away. Germany also, this is the Euro qualifications, what they have on their form guide. This ain't the form guide for the friendlies what have just come and gone. Oh no, they actually are, because it's got Greece and Ukraine. Yeah. So France and Germany was 2-0. They beat Netherlands. So from that group, France, Netherlands, and Austria, they're all in the same group, no?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So if we were going by this, they would have topped France and Netherlands group. This is on their form guide. So they drew with Ukraine 0-0 the other night, and they beat Germany, and they beat Greece 2-1 with a Kai Havertz goal in that game. What are you thinking of that form guide there, brother?
I mean, the Austria game obviously stands out because you wouldn't expect them to lose to Austria. I don't remember seeing that game. Although I remember seeing the France-Germany game, and they look quite impressive there. The Netherlands game, I seem to think that they were a little bit cautious and quite looking to get out of that with a win. I don't remember seeing the Ukraine game.
That was the same night as England played the other night.
Oh, is that right?
No, our first friendly, it was the same night as that.
Right, so that'd be why I didn't see that one. I saw the second half of the Greece game.
Yeah.
And again, they started to look a bit more lively in that second half.
Yeah, they've got a quite good mixture of
older
players and younger players coming in.
Yeah.
If you kind of think about it, obviously we just spoke on Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz, and then obviously they've got Joshua Kimmich, they've got ter Stegen or Neuer. That in goal, it's happy days for them, isn't it? Really, like I imagine we've got Pickford in goal that they can just pull out the bag if they ain't fancying Neuer, we've got ter Stegen. Don't worry about it, kind of thing. It's very, very good for them. But yeah, they've got a wide range of talent over in Germany, and it's the host nation, so they should necessarily do well. So, what's your final thoughts on them before we move on, bro? Like, how are you thinking they're going to go?
I would expect them to semi-final, final, outside chance of winning it, I would have said.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think a semi-final and outside chance of winning it. When I've looked at their squad in more depth today, I think they've got a very, very, very strong squad. Anyway, so I'll pull the groups back up just so people can see again. So the first one was Germany. Now we move over to Scotland. So I've got a lot of people with a lot of Scottish friends, and a lot of people in my family what are Scottish as well. So pulling them up, I've gone here. So because it's in white writing, I tried all different types of writing on this, and it was hard work, really, really hard work. Because you put blue, it wouldn't go in. You put red, it stuck next to the lion badge. It was so hard to get them up. But anyway, so Star players, Shea Adams in the Championship this season. He's had 20 goal contributions. Have you seen Shea Adams at all this season, bro?
I think I've seen him maybe twice.
Yeah.
Nothing outstanding, to be honest, but yeah, I do watch a bit of the Championship when Sky basically don't have actual Premiership games on. Then I watch some Championship games. I mean, he's an all right player. I mean, I don't think he's anything to write home about. Obviously, the Scotland fans will disagree with me, of course. But I think he's an okay player.
Yeah.
If he was better, he'd be in the Premier League, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's just left on a free transfer. I think he was coming up with Southampton, weren't he?
Oh, yeah, it was actually, yeah.
Yeah, so he's leaving on a free transfer. I don't quite know where he's going. I know I've put Andy Robertson in there, people, because that's what we all know. But I'm just going to give honourable mentions with the Scotland team, because I might have a lot of Scottish people in my comments. I don't watch them thoroughly, but I've had a little in-depth look. Billy Gilmore could have been in there. Scott McTominay could have been in there. But I've gone for Shea Adams and Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson, class player. I don't know if he's still the same as he was because of injuries, but we can't put it past it. In the past, I'd say 5 to 6 seasons, he's been the best left back in the league, and I think there's no doubt in that. What do you think, Sparks? Andy Robertson?
I mean, I don't think he's had the best season.
No.
Obviously hit by injury. So yeah. He's obviously historically he's been a quality player, and I'm sure he'll get back to that. But he's struggled a bit this season.
Yeah. I could not put him in. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, actually, I don't disagree either. Yeah. I mean, he definitely he's done himself proud, really, in the terms of what he's done for Liverpool and and what he does internationally. So you can't take that away from him. One half season, I guess, as it probably is, doesn't take that away. So you kind of got to give the credit where it's due, basically.
Yeah, of course. One of the things about him, what I can say, because obviously we're Arsenal fans, and at one point, Kieran Tierney, he was one of Arsenal's best players, and he couldn't touch Andy Robertson in that Scotland squad, and that just shows how good Andy Robertson was, because Kieran Tierney was a really good player for us at one point.
Yeah, he was getting in the squad, but obviously he was displacing him. But
he was playing left mid for him, weren't he?
He was a left centre back to start off with, I think.
Yeah.
Then I think he got injured and he did the left back. He came back and ended up doing the right back.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a mishmash. The right back didn't work, so I think then they put him a bit higher in the centre midfield role.
Yeah.
That didn't really work. I mean, it worked for a little while, but nothing of any kind of consequence. So
that kind of shows how good Andy Robertson was over that sustained period.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's only like having Walker in the England squad, for example.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to take anything away from the Scotland squad. I'm just using it as an example. But it's just very difficult to displace a player like that that's basically totally dominating the position.
Their star man, isn't it? It's their star man. I'm going to put up their form guide. It's just my laptop, people, just loading. Here we go. Let me pull up my screen so I can see everything. Scotland 3-3 Norway on 19th of November. 4-0 loss to Netherlands. A 1-0 loss to Northern Ireland. Gibraltar 2-0 win, and Gibraltar are poor team, people. And then 2-2 against Finland. By the looks of this, Sparks, going into the Euros, they're not in hot form.
No.
I don't want to take anything away from. I wouldn't mind Scotland doing well, but I can't see. They might surprise me, but going from this form guide, looking at their squad and what we're talking about now of Group A, I don't think they're going to make it through. But this could come back to bite me in the ass talking about this. But there you have it. What do you think on that form guide there, Sparks?
I mean, I'm quite Scottish, so obviously
Yeah.
I'd like them to do well.
Yeah.
Invariably, it doesn't really come to very much, unfortunately.
No.
Um,
I think they're quite happy just making it to the tournament because obviously my previous podcast, because we're obviously on my channel, my previous podcast, I had someone on who was Scottish. He was a Rangers fan, and he spoke thoroughly about Scotland's hopes, and he's just happy that they're there really, and he'd be running
yeah, I
around the
mean,
streets naked if they got through past the group stages.
oh yeah, I mean, I would expect that the
It was Jack, by the way. Yeah, Jack.
oh, that was Jack, was it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Jack, who is literally on the video just before this.
right, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't surprise. I'm not surprised that's the level of ambition purely because
Yeah.
it's very difficult, isn't it? It's when you've only got basically two decent players as such.
Yeah.
The rest are kind of average at
Yeah,
best.
the low Premier League, high Championship type of
Yeah,
players.
and they've had injuries as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's kind of the height of the ambition, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move on from Scotland.
Yeah, to try and go for a 4-pointer, isn't it? To try and get a
Yeah,
loss draw
definitely. All it takes is them beating one of these teams, doesn't it? Really, but I can't.
I mean,
really...
if you're going to do it, you're going to do it in that group, aren't you? Because obviously Hungary and Switzerland. I mean, Hungary aren't fantastic. Switzerland up and down.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it in that group.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what I've just realised? Have I not got a graphic for Switzerland? I don't think I've got a graphic for Switzerland. I can name out the players and everything anyway. I know. So I've researched it.
We can do Shaka. It's all good.
Yeah, we could. That's where it's going. Anyways, so moving over to Hungary. So I can't believe I haven't put I've spent all this time, people, doing all these. It might not look a lot, but what I put into it was a lot. So the star players is Golaski, the goalkeeper, which we all know, everyone knows from FIFA. Me and Spark said literally as I pulled up the graphic just before. He's very, very well known for FIFA. He plays for RB Leipzig, and he's a very, very, very capable goalkeeper. Your thoughts on Golaski, my brother?
I mean, again, he's a decent keeper. Nothing really outstanding. Yeah, often really surprised me of his rating in FIFA, to be honest with you. But
he's always got an 85, around 85 rating.
I think he's finally dropped down this year.
Has he?
To an 82, I believe it is.
Oh, has he?
Which is quite weird. But yeah, I always find it quite odd that he's given such a rating.
Yeah.
Granted, I can't say I've watched him all that much, but yeah, certainly I don't really expect that that he's going to be keeper of the tournament or anything like that, you know.
No. So I just want to touch on one thing as well, people, because obviously I ain't got the Switzerland graphic. Switzerland is one of the ones that surprised me the most with the players that they've got, how many good players they actually do have in their squad. But I'm going to carry on with the Hungary. Dominic Szoboszlai. I butchered the name, people, but we all know Liverpool player. I was going to put up his goal contributions, but that don't tell the full story of his season for Liverpool because he's only had 3 goals and 2 assists for Liverpool this season. But he has been, the first half of the season, he was sensational for Liverpool. We can't deny that. He had a very, very great season, great half of the season. And in the second half, I think he kind of come downhill. But yeah, there's the 2 star players, 2 key players. What do you think about Dominic? I'm just going to say.
Slobby. We just call him Slobby. Like you said, he hit the ground running, and he was in contention to being one of the signings of the season.
Yep.
For about 5-6 games, maybe even 7 games, possibly. But then had a massive drop off, and didn't. Well, he was kind of anonymous.
Yeah, definitely.
So. Yeah, a quality player. There is a player in there, obviously. And yeah, it was quite surprising, the actual drop off. I think that started the game before they played us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Because I was expecting him to do quite well, and then I didn't see what kind of people were saying not playing against us. I mean, like I watched him for Liverpool beforehand and seeing that he was doing really well, but when he came up against us, he weren't. Was he? I don't think he was even playing. Was he? Was he even playing?
When what? Sorry.
When we played him, so we played him in the FA Cup at the league game. When
I
was the
think he dropped off like the game before or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking as well.
And then he didn't play, I don't think.
Yeah, right. So I'll pull up Hungary's form guide. People, while I'm pulling this up, everyone hit that free punch combo by liking, subscribing, and commenting. I'm putting a lot of effort into this one for an in-depth look into each team. So everyone, please like and comment, and then go over to We're the North Bank and subscribe as well, and like and comment on a few of Sparks' feeds. Okay, going up to the Hungary form guide, which is looking not too bad, to be honest with you. We've got 1 loss, 1 draw, 3 wins, and 1 loss. 2-2 against Bulgaria in November. They beat Montenegro in November 3-1. They beat Turkey in March. They beat Kosovo in March, and then the last game was against Republic of Ireland, which they lost 2-1. Looking at that, people, there's not many. You've got to beat who's in front of the other, and Turkey's a good win for them. But Republic of Ireland loss is a poor one by the looks of things. Bulgaria draw 2-2. I can't see them. I thought coming into this, I kind of said to Sparks that maybe Hungary was a dark horse, but now that I've properly, because this is why I've done an in-depth analysis of this and looked into the stats of the team, looked at the squad, and I've actually realised I don't think they are. Okay, and what do you think Sparks got on that form guide?
From the form guide there, I would say that the beating of Turkey is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
and the loss to Republic of Ireland is a bit of a surprise. I can't say that I watched any of these games.
Yeah.
So yeah, just literally looking at that form guide.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Bulgaria-Hungary draw is probably slightly disappointing for them, but yeah, nothing really to kind of write home about. Anybody?
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. Oh, the club mascot in the background, Sparks. The club mascot was behind you.
No, was he?
We've got Sparks' cat, people, is our club mascot. When the cat's around, it's good luck. And then up the Arsenal with Sparks' cup as well. Sorry for interrupting you. I just seen the club mascot. I had to say something, Sparks.
No, it's all good. All good.
Are you happy moving on? Because I'm going to have
move on. Yeah.
Obviously, I did research into the Switzerland squad, so I know straight off my head who it is. Kobel in goal. Their goalkeeper options. You've got Kobel, who Kobel last season was probably the best keeper in the Bundesliga. And then you've got Jan Sommer, who's also the backup keeper. So you've got Kobel. Well, you say Kobel. That's how you say it in Germany. You've got Jan Sommer, and then also you've got Akanji. Akanji's a very, very good defender. And then we've got Granit Xhaka also. I've got the squad list up here quickly. Yeah, that's kind of their big players. What are you thinking about them players, what I've just spilled out there, brother?
Yeah, Kobel's another one that I know from FIFA, but that's kind of it. Apart from that, obviously, he's the Leverkusen keeper as well.
Kobel's Dortmund, no? Is he Dortmund?
He's what?
Kobel.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah, Dortmund. Kobel's Dortmund.
Who's the Leverkusen?
It's Gulaschi. Yeah, Gulaschi. But yeah. Kobel's a very good keeper. He's 87 rated on FIFA for people if they play FIFA. He's one of the higher ones.
Yeah, we're not doing ratings from FIFA.
No. I know Kobel's a good keeper. Good Dortmund keeper.
I was just doing the reflectives of what kind of.
Also, as well, sorry, Sparks, there's one other player that we can kind of comment on from the Premier League as well. So obviously we've got Akanji, we've got Fabian Schär as well.
Yeah, Schär is a top player, I think. Akanji also a top player. So maybe they.
When I'm spilling these names off, are they kind of? Are you thinking, oh wow, this is actually a good team?
Yeah, actually a decent side rather than looking at it on the surface, and you kind of look a bit deeper.
Yeah.
And,
they've also got Zakaria. You know the defensive midfielder Zakaria, the one that went to Juve. They've got him in there as well.
Yeah.
They've got
Here he is. Look.
here he is. Yes, my lad. Up the Arsenal. They've also got Freuler from Bologna this season. Bologna had an extremely good season in the Serie A. But my backing people, I'm going to go. There you go. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think that Switzerland might qualify. Looking at this squad, it's a very, very lot. I'm looking. There's very, very good players in the squad. I didn't even realise how good they were.
Just bring up the group again.
1 sec. I'll bring up the group. I've clicked it. It's just going to take a little bit. Come on, it's just a laptop.
I mean, certainly.
So we've got.
After looking at that, I think Switzerland could be in front of Hungary. So you're probably
Germany,
right.
Switzerland. I'm really surprised about that Switzerland squad, Sparks. Are you a bit surprised, mate?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up their form guide. It's on my phone, people. The form guide is they drew 1-1 with Kosovo. They lost to Romania. They drew with Denmark. They beat Republic of Ireland and they beat Estonia coming into the tournament.
See, the problem with is that, isn't it? It's not the players that are there. It's
very inconsistent. That is.
It's very inconsistent form. I mean, we're just talking about Hungary, and they kind of
similar form, isn't it?
Similar form, if not Kosovo. Hungary is slightly better.
Well, that'll be a game to watch, Sparks. So Hungary versus Switzerland, the 15th of June at 2:00.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a cracking game.
So that's a Friday, isn't it?
Because that's Saturday because the tournament starts. Is it on the 14th and that's the Friday?
Right, okay.
Yeah. So the Switzerland squad looks very, very well. So that's Group A.
Yeah.
Covered. Moving over to Spain. I'm going to put up the graphic here. 1 second, people. Here we go. There we go. So there's a lot of players I could have pulled up from Spain, but I've come with these two key players. Grimaldo from left wing back for Leverkusen last season. Leverkusen had an absolutely amazing season last season. Grimaldo had 24 goals and assists. I'm going to repeat that, people, as a left wing back. 24 goals and assists for Grimaldo, and he had 11 goals and 13 assists. What are you thinking on Grimaldo, my brother? Have I done well putting him as a star player, or would you add someone else in, maybe?
No, he's definitely a star player, and one that I'd like to have in my club.
Imagine having Grimaldo at Arsenal left back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, top player. But yeah, again, that Leverkusen squad is just insane, isn't it? So it's just
arguably he's one of them. He's their most important player, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, that when you do that, when you do the what they've actually done, they're so many important players. So
I watch Channel Sports, if anyone, because we're talking on FIFA. I watch Channel Sports. He does FIFA career modes and stuff like that, and he's in depth of Bundesliga because he's German. He's in depth. His dad was a former coach from Fenerbahce, from Galatasaray. His dad played professional level in Turkey, so he's very, very. His takes are very good. And I was watching him the other day, and he was talking about this Leverkusen squad, and he watches Bundesliga as much as we watch Premier League, and he said that Grimaldo has been their best player this season. But obviously, you've got Florian Wirtz there, but he reckons that's it. Obviously, Rodri. Well, obviously, he's key man. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, he's just a beast, isn't he? I mean, he gets away with certain things for club and country, I think. But yeah, he's such a dominant force in the centre and midfield for both club and country. So yeah, definitely, you definitely have to have him in there. And yeah, top
I would say I love Declan Rice. I think that him and Declan Rice best CDMs in the world. I'm not going to sit here because we're talking about club and country. I'm not going to sit here and say what's what because I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't want to start acting biased. There's honourable mentions for Javi. You could have had Javi in there, and there's an honourable mention. I know I've just said about the Arsenal biasness people, but I think there's an honourable mention there for David Raya because he had the most clean sheets in the league last season. He got the Golden Glove. He could have been put in there because I think Spain, with their goalkeepers, they had Kepa. They could have struggled, and I think that David Raya may come in and make a difference for them. Or could you see that happening, bro?
Yeah, he could. I mean, they've had some top quality keepers over the years, so I don't think he falls into the greatest keeper for them. But
he's an upgrade on Kepa, isn't he?
I still don't understand the price tag of Kepa being 80. I think it was 84
it was
million.
84 million. Yeah.
When Chelsea bought him, I just don't see it. I don't get why that was. I don't think he's an upgrade for them, but I think he's a solid.
100%. I'm going to move over to their form guide, brother. It's loaded up now. Let me big up my screen, people, so I can see it. Right, Spain on Thursday, the 16th of November, beat Cyprus 3-1. Then they beat Georgia 3-1. And then they lost to Colombia, and they had a good draw, 3-3. That's a good draw because Brazil, I'd put them in the top 4 in the world as a footballing country. And then a 5-0 win over Andorra. I don't think there's not really much to go across there because you've either playing against poor teams or you're playing against a really good team. There's no middle ground. There's no Austrias. So it's kind of hard to go off that form guide, people. But I do think that Spain may have a really good Euros. I've got into, like I just said, I've gone in depth into their squad, and they've got quite a few good players. The only thing I think that's holding them back is playing Morata up front. What do you think, Sparks?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be disappointed with the loss at Colombia. But everything else is kind of as you would expect. So it's the normal, the norm form guide, but one off the cuff thing, and they're in there with a shout of winning the Euros.
100%. So moving on, we'll go over to the next group. Obviously, we're on the next group. I'll come over to Croatia. So Croatia, there's a few aging players in there, but of course, I've had to throw Luka Modric. I've put 3 players in this one, Sparks. I've put the key players. Luka Modric, he's just come off winning the Champions League. He definitely needs to be in that star players little category there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not for what he does now, but what he's done in the past, he's just had an insane run. And there were times when we've played Croatia, and he's completely ruled the show. And top player. I mean, I still think he's a top player.
So do I.
But he seems to have gone on forever. And
what is he now? About 37, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is 37. Yeah, it's just ridiculous how long he's gone on for. And but yeah, it's going to be difficult for them.
100%. Moving on to Gvardiol. Gvardiol this season, at the start of the season, the first half of the season, I didn't think that he was that great. I mean, now watching it a little bit more I think that he's actually progressed and he looks like a lot better player now. I don't know about you, Sparks, but yeah, I think he's progressed and he's looking like at that left back position for Man City. He's progressed and he's took them to another level on that left hand side because of the left back position they struggled, and he's done very well for them. And whatever he played.
Yeah, well, they had Aki covering that position, didn't they? And obviously he's overtaken him. So when he was in that position as a centre back to start off with, I don't think he really pulled any trees.
No, he didn't.
But it certainly seems to be when he's put in the left back role he's turned into a quality player. He's got some decent finishes, though I question a couple whether they're actually
definitely.
But he's done it time and again. So at the end of the day, you can't take it away from him. You can't take it from Pep because he's done great to kind of get the best out of him. Because, like I said, for me, he wasn't great in the centre back role. He was okay, but he didn't live up to the price tag for me.
Because they originally bought him because of how good he was for Croatia at the World Cup. That's where this come from. That's where Man City went for this big bid and bought him, because of the impression he made at the World Cup. So people, this is why during it's going to be really quiet in the transfer window, because people, this is a scouting agency. This is a scouter's dream, a big European tournament like this, where you could just pick out and pluck out players. Like I said before, James Rodriguez was picked off the back of a World Cup. Keylor, Navas, there's loads of players that have been picked up. Mesut Ozil was picked up from Wolfsburg to go to, he went straight to Real Madrid because of on the back end of a World Cup, the 2010 South African World Cup, weren't it?
But he doesn't really tell you a lot anyway, because it's obviously it's a cup tournament. At the end of the day, all right, you've got a lot of pressure on it, but it can be.
Of course, aka Amrabat for Manchester United from Morocco, so it can go either way, people. But that's why the transfer market is quite.
Yeah, I think possibly Amrabat. He was injured anyway.
Yeah, he was.
Off, and he had to be utilised in the wrong positions. Yeah. Purely because of other injuries, I think. So I don't think that's a fair reflection on Amrabat, to be honest. I think when he did come in and actually play in his own position, I think he did okay.
Moving on, Kovacic, obviously from Man City. So obviously got 2 Man City players, but you've got to put 2 Man City players in there. Kovacic, I think he's come over and he's done a fairly well job of replacing Gundogan. I don't think he's as good as Gundogan, but you didn't really notice too much missing. I think he's done a job, and I think he's worthy of being part of these key players. Hence why I've put 3 in there. If anyone, any of these stats and stuff I'm bringing up, if anyone thought, oh no, you should have had this player from your country, please comment down below. Let me know if I've made a wrong decision by putting someone in, and if I've spelt the names wrong or anything like that. But everyone who's watching this, comment what country you're supporting going into this Euros. Okay, Kovacic, for you, brother.
I mean, a decent utility player. I guess he was supposed to be coming to replace Gundogan for his club, but he's an able substitute for that. But then. Yeah, that's about it for me. Should have got sent off against us. Should have had a couple of games sat out, but you know what the refs in our league are like. But on the international stage, he does a job. He's got the experience. So at the end of the day, he has to be in that group. Whether he performs in on the actual stages remains to be seen. But he has done it in the past.
Yeah, we can't see why not.
Yeah,
solid country, Croatia, as a footballing nation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then very difficult to beat. Very.
Of course, we found that out a few times, mate. Really. Completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to pull up a form guide as well while we're here. So, by the looks of things, look at this form guide, brother. They beat Latvia 2-0. They beat Armenia. They drew with Tunisia. They've beaten Egypt and they've beaten North Macedonia. So there's 4 wins and 1 draw, but the teams are poor teams. I don't want to say it in that type of. I don't mean as poor as in they ain't got no money. I mean, it's like,
no, yeah, it's completely right. They're beatable teams. You should be.
You've got to beat what's in front of you, but we can't. It's really hard to go off that form guide there because they're not playing. Their group is a lot harder than what that is. So it's really, really hard to touch on that. What do you think, Sparks, mate, by that form guide?
I just don't think you can really judge anything from that because obviously it's that they're all quite beatable. I guess that they would be very disappointed with the draw to Tunisia as well. Obviously, I didn't see the team sheet that day, so I don't know if it's. I haven't watched any of these games to be honest.
Neither have I.
But I would assume that they wouldn't be overly happy with that draw.
If you didn't know what the teams were and you looked at them, that form guide, you'd say they're going in under really, really good circumstances. But I think what I've looked at, so obviously people, as you know, ball knowledge, I've looked into all these teams. Croatia, I've got an aging squad. and that's just being being completely straight up. But I'm not doubting Croatia, but I don't expect them to do as well as previous tournaments. I don't know about you, Spike.
Well, the problem for me as well by the fact that it's an aging squad, have they actually got the quality to come in and actually replace the aging players? Because the fact that the aging players,
it just proves a point, doesn't it?
Says that they don't. And now I might be wrong with that, and if I am, feel free to correct me.
Mandzukic is still part of the squad, Sparks.
Yeah, well, that tells you everything. So
from what I've seen earlier. So moving on, we'll move on from Croatia. I'm just going to keep pulling up the groups that everyone can see for themselves. Italy is the next group, Italia. So let's move over to Forza Italia. Here we have. So going into it, the form of some players ain't that great. I've pulled up names that people are going to know. I could have pulled up some players from Bologna as they've had a really, really good season. But my choosing with this was Federico Chiesa with 13 goals and assists. You're obviously familiar with Federico Chiesa, brother?
Yeah, quite a quality player. I mean, it's normally on the right wing, isn't he? But I think he's had an injury as well. So at the end of the day, I don't think you can really judge.
He played 28 games. That's what he's got 13 goal contributions.
So I mean, it's still not bad for a right winger, to be fair. But yeah, I think he suffered with a bit of form.
Yeah. That's kind of Martinelli numbers for us this season, that is.
It is, but injury. I mean, Martinelli had an injury as well.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of thinking. Them two can be kind of compared.
Yeah, it's kind of very similar, isn't it?
Yeah. Nicola Barella, obviously Inter defensive midfielder. The season before, Inter did very, very well, make it to the Champions League final, winning the Serie A. Barella is a breath of fresh air and is a very, very, very good centre midfielder. What are you thinking, Sparks, Barella?
I mean, another one that I'd love to have at my club, to be honest, is he's absolutely insane. Just staunch. You can't get past him. He's got a pass on him. Basically, just a bit of quality adds to that team no end. But yeah, I like the Italy team. I think you could have added a few more there. That they've got shouts in there, but
there's their attack. When I've been looking at their attack, they've still got Stefan Al-Shaarawy and stuff like that in there, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. Then they've got Donnarumma, obviously Bonucci's not in there. Chiellini, they've lost quite a bit of experience with that squad.
Yeah, Chiellini and his pullback.
Yeah, his counterpart.
I mean, how that was ever allowed to carry on, I don't know. But there you go.
I don't know when he pulled back Saka.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, my kind of thinking about this Italian squad is they're all equal. They're all equal players, so they could do quite well. But then at the same time, they might not. But if you think Serie A gained that extra position, didn't they? That actually extra Champions League spot. Am I wrong by saying that? So that must mean Serie A is doing well, and predominantly in Serie A are Italian players. So
I think this is your dark horse, as it were. I think
that as well.
I don't think they're necessarily favourites, but I think they could.
Yeah,
they could surprise a few people.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to pull their form guide up. Let me have a quick look. That's Spain. It's hard to see people.
I'm seeing these form guides for the first time as well. So
you are. Yeah.
If I'm kind of thrown by these, then that's.
I think Italy form guide's quite good. North Macedonia 5-2, Ukraine 0-0, Venezuela 2-0. That 2-0 Ecuador victory there should not be underestimated because Ecuador are a decent side. Italy versus Turkey was 0-0. Going off that, what I can see, I think that's a good win against Ecuador. They've done the job against North Macedonia. Ukraine do look like they're part of the bus because they're drawing a lot of games. But yeah, form guide on and off, but relatively decent. What about you, mate? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. Can kind of see why they've drawn with Ukraine in Ukraine.
Yeah,
I don't. Well, I actually don't know if it was in Ukraine because obviously they had different venues, didn't they?
No.
So I don't know where that is. It could well be on neutral ground. Could be a tricky one to play in. So I can kind of understand that. Italy, Turkey. I think they should be doing that. Obviously, didn't see the starting lineup again. I haven't watched Italy on the international stage, so I didn't watch any of these games
Neither did I. No,
specifically. But I mean, there's nothing alarming, is there? I mean, there's
no,
no
there ain't. No, no.
anyway.
A form guide. I think it's kind of like a form guide, like the Spain one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's kind of it bodes quite well for them going into the tournament, and certainly they should be getting through, or certainly competing for getting through the group.
Yeah,
Although
exactly
the
right.
group is difficult.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot, obviously, for Italy. Obviously, I know a lot of Italians, part of Italian families, and so on. So I've got a soft spot for Italy, even though they beat us in the Euros. I have got a soft spot for.
I quite like Italy, to be honest.
Yeah,
I prefer Italy to win to Spain, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull up Albania now. So Albania, obviously, we know what we're kind of thinking with this one. When I've looked at the squad, I've had to put up because there wasn't really good graphics for goals and assists for anyone. So if you look at this, Alcide Hizaj, I can't really pronounce it, but it's the Lazio right back. He's had 223 appearances for Lazio, so that can't be laughed at because that's a hell of a lot of appearances in a good league like Serie A. Serie A ain't no rubbish league. It's a great league, and he's had 223 appearances. I think he's Albania's He's got the most appearances for Albania in this squad. He's a right back, and then we've got Armando Broja, which we all know from Chelsea. Obviously, he did have a good season a couple of seasons back. If you remember that, Sparks, Broja.
Yeah, I mean, he plays for Chelsea now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's only had 22 appearances this season, only having 3. I think he was on loan up to January.
Yeah, I think he was on loan. I think they're looking to sell him, aren't they now?
Yeah, was it Fulham he was at loan on? Was it something like that, Fulham?
Sounds familiar. I can't remember exactly, like to be honest. So,
because when he had that good loan deal, was that at? Let me have a quick look into Broja. I know I'm meant to be looking in depth, but I can't look at in depth at every single player. People, I'll just put Amanda Broja out there because that's the one I knew. Broja,
where Xhaka's brother plays for them as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he's only 22 years old. Everton apparently TalkSport literally put 4 hours ago that Everton are pushing for £30 million for Broja.
30 million quid, but I mean, I don't know how much did they pay for him.
I think they paid quite a bit for him. But Monaco's the highest transfer market. Have him at £22 million. So that's how much they paid for him.
I mean, I would expect that they want more than 30 million for him. Then,
and then I'm pretty sure it was Southampton before. Let me load it up. Where he had that good loan spell. Yeah, we've got it up here. So we were right. He was on loan at Fulham this season.
Yeah.
And then he had that good loan spell at Southampton. Like we kind of grasped that. So our ball knowledge ain't off, boys. Our ball knowledge ain't off in the slightest. But yeah, he's been around since he signed. No, he come straight through Chelsea's youth system. They didn't sign him for nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he went on loan to Vitesse. And then went back to the Chelsea under-23s afterwards. Then went on loan to Southampton, had that really good season. I think that season he scored 16 goals.
Right. So if they get 30 million for him, then that's.
Yeah, fair. Well, it says current market value is 22 million, but the highest value was 2 years ago at 30 million. So yeah, 30 million is kind of they'll get about 25, I reckon, because he's only 22 years old, so he could still yet pull up some trees. I'll bring up the form guide, but his I don't know how to say his name. It's probably high. I probably butchered it, but there you have it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? The right back from Lazio. I'm putting up their form guide. So the form guide, Faroe Islands, which is a really, really poor team. Really, really. I think they're ranked like one of the lowest. Up there with like the likes of Luxembourg and Liechtenstein and teams like that. They lost 3-0 to Chile. Chile are a good team, but nothing to write home about. Sweden lost 1-0. Sweden didn't even make it to the Euros and lost to Germany 3-0, like we've just seen. Liechtenstein 3-0 and Azerbaijan 3-1. That's not. They've won two matches, but it's not looking very, very strong for them, is it?
No, it's very hit and miss, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very hit and miss, I think.
I think they're obviously, especially in the group that they're in, they're going to struggle to qualify. Never say never. Obviously, it's a cup competition. Anybody could do anything, but
course.
I wouldn't be putting my house on it. Let's go with that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm 100% backing that as well. I'll pull up the groups again, and we can do a quick little overview of now that we've read into it and now that we've looked into the squads. Has anything changed? So I'm putting Germany, Switzerland, Hungary. No, actually, you know what? Germany, Switzerland, Scotland, Hungary, and then for Group B, I am going to go with Spain, Italy, Croatia, Albania. What about you, mate?
I think I originally went with Germany, Hungary, Switzerland, Scotland, but I think I'd switch that round slightly and
Yeah.
put Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, Scotland,
Yeah.
and I think yeah, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Albania, going on the form guide and the actual squads. Yeah,
Yeah, I've done quite well with kind of rather. I looked a bit into it. I've obviously done an in-depth look, and then having to pull it up for you to see because you hadn't seen this. I think I've got you to grasp it what I've kind of seen anyway.
Yeah, I still think it's a bit of a lottery, that group.
Yeah, definitely. I think Switzerland is the one what's kind of me and you have looked at. With Spain and Italy, we kind of knew, but I think Switzerland, the one there, is what I've looked at and gone. That I think they might be my dark horse now.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a highest performing third place as well. So
yeah, they could be a part of something like. I could see them. I could see them doing an upset, going through it and upsetting a certain team.
Yeah.
Could you see that happening?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, people, just an overview. This is Group A, Group B. So tomorrow, Sparks, you up for doing Group C, Group D tomorrow with me? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do Group C, Group D, and then obviously leading all the way up, it'll be to Wednesday, and then on the Thursday, I'm going to be uploading every single day during the Euros, and that starts from here pretty much because obviously Thursday will be a look into the start of the Euros, kind of like a little prediction thing, and then Friday the Euros.
We're going to do a road to the final, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll do a road to the final. You up for that?
Yeah.
Road to the final on the Thursday. It starts on the Friday, so this will lead up to the Wednesday. Because if I would have done all of these in one sitting of a podcast, you think we're 50 minutes in now and we've got through two groups. So we would have been looking at a 3-hour podcast. So I think this kind of like makes it like a perfect timing, nice and sweet. Yeah. So then tomorrow we've got something to give you, and it gives me time because otherwise, even if I would have pulled up and done in-depth looks at all of them, it would have been pretty much a 7-8 hour session of me looking into each country. So I think I've covered it quite well there, people. Let me know in the comments, like I said, if there's anyone that I missed, any surprises that you've got, anything I've missed at all. But if you could hit that 3-punch combination by liking, subscribing, and commenting down below, heading over to Sparks' We're the North Bank. I've also got TikTok, which is Jay Gunner, as you can see as the banner coming underneath, and that's Sparks' YouTube. My Twitter is at Jamie Trickett, Jaymie. Sparks, do you want to come off with your socials?
Yeah. Do you want to take the thing down?
Yeah, I'll put your banner on there for you, brother. So we've got a banner here for Sparks as well, so we can
just take the group down.
Oh yeah. I'll take the group down. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I was on the caption, so it's a bit of a. Come on. Here we go. Hide it. There we go. Yeah. So.
Thanks for having me as usual. But my Twitter and my TikTok is at Sparks TV, and the YouTube is We're the North Bank without the apostrophe hyphen thing.
What I've put in there. The one what I've put in there, is that wrong?
Well, that's how you say it, but that's not how it is.
Oh yeah.
It kind of I have to put it in as.
There you go. I've changed the banner at the bottom. There's Sparks' TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah. So nice one. If you drop us a follow on there, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Lee.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, brother. Appreciate you. As always, a dynamic duo, including, it's a triple threat once the cat's in the equation, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yes.
All right, brother. Have a good night. And everyone, stay blessed and take care. See you all later. Bye-bye.